Yes, people, welcome back to Arsenal with Ash, here to review our extremely deflating 2-1 defeat against Aston Villa. The last kick of the game, they score and we lose the game. Absolutely gutted. I can't believe it. I knew this game was going to be tough. I knew it was a real potential of a banana skin. An early kickoff, couple of days after we've played another tough game. We've had a tough week. I just knew Villa Park's not the top. It's a tough place to go at the best of times, but so deflated, man. And the worst thing is, we done it to ourselves. Because if Nkapie clears that ball earlier on in that segment of play, we walk out of there with the point, and we're still unbeaten in 19 games. But unfortunately, we've fallen to a defeat, just our second defeat of the season. So there has to be some perspective put into this. Yes, City are now 2 points behind us. Villa are 3 points behind us. The gap has closed. The gap has closed. But we have played at 90% of the toughest away grounds in the Premier League already. We've still got the joint best away record in the league. Yeah. So all of this has to be put into perspective. We've been doing this without a lot of players that have been injured. The defense has been shot to pieces. We've not got Saliba. We've not got Gabriel. Even Mosquera is injured now. So the boys they're struggling, but they're fine. They're getting through it. And like I said, we've got the joint best away record in the league, and I think in the home record we've got probably the second best. I think only to maybe Man City. But yeah, it's a real tough one to take, man. It's a tough one to take. Villa, they've notoriously caused us problems over the years. I can't tell you the last time we beat them twice in a season. And they proved to be a tough match again. Rodgers and Watkins are a crazy duo. So good in transition. Almost unstoppable, to be honest with you. Any defense in the world would struggle with them two as a duo in transition. Um, I think Arteta got the number 9 choice, probably the front three choice wrong in the first half. With obviously Marino, who was it, Eze and Saka. There's no one really that's going to stretch the game. Saka at times, Eze maybe at times, but we needed at least Gyökeres on that pitch to stretch the pitch, because, like I said in the preview, with Marino in there, he's just going to come short, and it's just all going to be condensed with the way that Aston Villa play, and they've got more transition threats than us in those 11s. So yeah, that's the game. Almost was pretty much played at like a basketball match level. It was just to and fro, to and fro. There was times we were trying to slow it down and control the game, but then our passing was off. And if you get a pass wrong, and then someone like Tielemans is on the ball, threads off pass through, you're in trouble. So yeah, it's a frustrating one to take. Obviously, their first goal. I thought we got done quite well in the first half. We had a couple of chances ourselves. Eze had a disallowed goal as well. But yeah, in terms of the defending, Eze goes completely to sleep at the back post, and Cash, who loves getting forward, gets in behind and puts it away. We're 1-0 down at half time. At a tough place to go. We've been 1-0 down there before and not been able to come back, because they make it so tough. But second half, Arteta makes the changes, brings on Gyökeres and Trossard at half time, and we look a lot better. Even though Gyökeres, I think he was poor, just as a team, we looked a lot better. We were taking the game to them, controlling the game, sustaining pressure as well. Saka was causing problems, and then obviously we get the goal through Saka, and Odegaard dinking up and Saka getting in behind and playing it across, and it's Trossard again. So important. He's so important. Unfortunately, it looks like he's injured again though. It looks like we've rushed him back too early, because he had to come off. But yeah, what I'll say, this guy is and he's like he's getting better with age. He's just so efficient. And even I think his first touch of the game was a left foot volley that was narrowly wide. So yeah, I think he's so important to this team. And yeah, hopefully he's not out for too long. But then yeah, after that, Villa kind of get back into the game, and we're kind of hanging on towards the end. Although they're not creating anything crazy, we're kind of hanging on. And then it's the last seconds of the game. Nkapie's got the ball and he just runs it out of play carelessly rather than hooking it. And then they take a quick throw. They're in our box. It's mayhem. it falls to Buendia and he puts it away, and it's absolute heartbreak. It's just absolute heartbreak. But yeah, that's done now. The game's over. We have to move on. Fair play to Villa. They are flying at the moment. They've only lost twice apparently in the last year or something like that. I think we were actually one of them. And yeah, they are absolutely flying. But we need to pick ourselves up next week. We have Wolves at home, a game where we will have to feel like we can get back to winning ways. We've got some kind of more favourable fixtures, even though the Premier League doesn't really offer favourable fixtures. We've got to go Everton away, which is going to be a tough game, 8 o'clock kickoff. We've got Brighton at home, who've notoriously caused us problems over the years. Bournemouth away, lost there last season. Who's the other one? I think it was... And then we got Villa we got the Villa game again, but at the Emirates this time. So games on paper where we look at and say 3 points, but we need the defenders back, man. We need the defenders back because we don't look as solid. We look a little bit vulnerable. We don't have the same presence from even set pieces as well. So yeah, the sooner Saliba and Gabriel can come back, the better. At least one of them, especially. So yeah, it's a deflating one, but Gooners, pick your head up, man, because like I said, yes, we're still top of the league. We've been to St James's Park, we've been to Villa Park, we've been to Old Trafford, been to Anfield, been to Stamford Bridge. Like we've been to so many of the tough grounds, and teams like Man City will have this run themselves. They still ain't been to Stamford Bridge. They ain't been to Anfield. They ain't been to Old Trafford. They ain't been to Sunderland away even. Sunderland away is a tough game nowadays. So yeah, there's things that still to happen. There are things to still happen. And I think in the second half of the season, if we can get the players back, we've got a more favourable fixture list with those away games becoming home games. And yeah, I'll back the boys to go and still do that job and win this league. So yeah, pick your head up. Onto the player ratings. David Raya in goal. Couldn't do anything really about any of the goals. The first one, he would have had to sort his feet out super quick. It was a fierce strike. And the second one, he got absolutely no chance. I thought he had a decent game. There was one moment in the first half where his touch was a little bit off and it looked like it was going in for an own goal, put himself under pressure and he kicked it out. But yeah, made a couple of important saves, made a big save from Watkins in the first half. And yeah, I thought he had a decent game. I'm not going to criticize him too much, so I'm going to give him probably a 7 out of 10. Ben White at right back, I thought had a decent game again. Tough for him to come in and play 2 games off in 4 or 5 days after not playing for so long. I thought he done okay. I ain't got much criticism of Ben. And that triangle with him, Bukayo and Odegaard was back, and you could see the connection was still there. That was nice to see. But yeah, ultimately we lost the game. He's conceded 2 goals. He's part of that defense, so I'll probably give him maybe a 6.5 out of 10. The same for Jurriën Timber. Really, I thought Timber actually done really well in defense. Watching Jurriën Timber in a ground duel is some of the most beautiful defending you're gonna see. The guy still puts a smile on my face even after a defeat. I think he's such a good player, man. Such a good player. There was one moment in the second half where he nearly scored a own goal. But yeah, I ain't really got too much to fault him on, so I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Hincapié had a really good second half. I thought he was strong in the second half. He obviously made that mistake towards the end, so if he didn't do that, and obviously that's cost us the game, it would have been probably quite a high score. I thought he had a really good game, but yeah, like I said, that moment at the end was a bit of a moment of madness, and fortunately it's led to us losing the game. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Left back Calafiori, again, thought he had a good game. He's been solid. He's been so good. I think he's going from strength to strength, and the consistency of playing and keeping fit has helped him a lot. He now is suspended for the Wolves game. We don't mind that too much because that's the one game where you think in the league at the moment should be a banker. So yeah, unfortunately he's injured. Not injured, he's suspended for that one. But it's not too bad of a blow. But yeah, I'm going to give him probably a 6.5 out of 10. Zubimendi didn't get on the ball as much as he would have liked, probably. And yeah, they obviously played that midfield where they've got about four players that you could consider centre midfielders almost. congested it, and it was hard for the likes of him and Deck to get on the ball. So yeah, I don't think he had too much of an influence. And some say it could be the influence of having Odegaard in there, who is he likes to drop deep and pick up the ball. So has that affected him? I don't know. We'll have to see a longer sample size of games. But yeah, I'll probably give him a 6 out of 10. Deck, I thought he tried. It's the same Deck that you get pretty much every week. He didn't get to influence the game as much as he would have liked to. But yeah, I ain't really got much to say on his performance. There's not really anything outstanding, anything too bad. So a standard 7 out of 10 for Deck. Odegaard, I think in the first half he was off it, weak on the ball, too delicate with his passing. However, we didn't give him the runners for him to be able to find them in that first half. So in the second half, he really picked it up, had a big hand in the goal, had a couple of shots as well. There was one which was a great save from Emi Martinez. He really hit that. And yeah, I think, again, similar to Ben White, 2 games within the last 4 or 5 days, been asked a lot of him from a player that's not really played this season. So I'm not going to be critical of Martin. I think he had a decent game. Yeah, I think he actually got the man of the match. I probably wouldn't have given that to him, but yeah, I think he had a decent game. So I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10 as well. And the front three, obviously, we started off with Eze on the left. I think it's probably his worst game in an Arsenal shirt. Ineffective on the ball, completely out of the game. Got the disallowed goal. Apart from that, didn't do anything really in the game. And he slept at the back post for the cash goal. So then got hooked at half time, rightly so probably. And yeah, we move. That's all I'm going to say is we move. But yeah, I'll probably give him a 4 out of 10 if I'm honest. Marino, one of his poorest games. He's played a lot of football recently, and this game just wasn't for him in the number 9. So I put that more on Arteta than Marino. Obviously, maybe Gyökeres weren't fit enough to play the whole game, so I don't know what the situation is with the fitness. But yeah, I'm going to give Marino probably a 5 out of 10. And Saka, I think in the first half he was a little bit off it, but the threat was there. He had the better of Maatsen, and we didn't get the ball to him enough. And he was really, really trying to make things happen. Second half, he stepped up even more of a level. I think he was probably our best player on the day. And yeah, he obviously had a massive hand in that goal. Could have had a couple of goals himself. Yeah, I thought he was pretty much a constant threat around that side. And it was unfortunate to see him go off. I didn't really like that substitution, bringing Madueke on for him. I thought Saka was causing problems and had a real big hand and something else to say in this game. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. I thought he was our best player on the day. Substitutions. I'll speak about Madueke straight away. Then he came off the bench. Thought he was poor. Didn't do anything really. Had a moment towards the end of the game where he could have, if he had a bit more composure, he hit it with his right foot early, and he could have just slowed the game down. He could have controlled it and cut back inside and made something happen. But it was a bit of a rash attempt, if I'm honest with you. And yeah, his intensity off the ball I didn't really like as well. So yeah, I need a bit more from Noni. I'm going to give him a standard 5 out of 10. Trossard came off the bench, got the goal, super sub. He can get 8 out of 10. He was good. He was so good. And unfortunately had to come off. No, not 8. Let me give him a 7. It was a really small period of time, but he really did affect the game. And hopefully he can be back really soon, because yeah, we're going to need him. Martinelli came on for him, didn't impact the game really at all. Yeah, I ain't really got much to say. I'm going to give him a standard 5. And who else came off the bench? Miles Lewis-Skelly came on for Calafiori. Didn't really do anything wrong. Standard 5 out of 10. So yeah, that's it from me. A deflating one, like I said, but we have to move. We've got Bruges coming up midweek in the Champions League. I think that's an opportunity to rest a lot of the players. I want to see a heavily rotated side. I don't really care what happens in that game, if I'm being honest with you. But the boys, I just know they need a rest. And then we go to Wolves. Wolves come to us next week, and we're back on our A game, and we absolutely smash them. That's the reaction I want from this group of players. So let's see what happens. But yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that notification bell for more content.